Have you ever been building something massive in Minecraft and realized there's just not enough space for you to carry all the blocks you need? This is something I like to call the sandbox problem. Even though this sounds negative, it's actually a really good and a great problem to have for a game. If you weren't already previously aware, games like Minecraft are called sandboxes. This basically means you can interact with any aspect of the environment. For example, you could turn this forest into a town. This has proven to be absolutely amazing. Games that are sandboxes are absolutely amazing. For example, Minecraft is the #1 selling game, so obviously sandboxes are doing something right. Problems start to arise when there's just way too many blocks to keep track of and hold on you at once. For example, there is 11 types of wood in Minecraft currently. This is an absolutely amazing feature until you realize that your inventory only has 36 slots. If, for example, you're making a massive build that consists of many types of wood, for example, my base, which consists of 6, and you've already taken up 6 of those 36 slots. And you also have to take into consideration that most survival players hold 4 tools at a time, on top of carrying food in their hotbar. It's important to also think that most late game players also have an elytra on them, which takes up another spot along with their fireworks. Now, like I already said, the variation of building blocks isn't a problem. It's actually really amazing because you can see some really cool builds with the different gradients and things like that you can do. Of course, things like shulker boxes make this a whole lot easier, especially when mass transporting items. A very slight issue is that when you're hovering over a shulker box in your inventory, you can only see a certain amount of items that are in there. And if you don't have your shulker boxes named or color coded, it makes it really hard to tell where something is. Now, if you are a Java player, the shulker box issue can easily be fixed downloading a user-side client that just shows you a small inventory of what's inside the shulker box. Now, if you're on Bedrock, then there's not much you can do about it. Of course, this problem doesn't only affect survival mode, it also affects creative mode. Currently, creative mode menus are just currently too packed. A small feature of creative mode that many people don't realize is that in the menu you can have custom hotbars. Now, the number of blocks has grown, but the number of custom hotbars has not grown. This basically means if you're a creative builder who builds in a lot of different block variants and has those set up so that you can easily find them, if you want to expand those palettes, you're either going to have to just remember what blocks to pick, or you're going to have to delete one of your saved hotbars already. And of course, master builders out there do not want to do that. Mojang has addressed the problem of the inventory several times, and this is where the idea of the bundle originated from. Of course, not all players have shulker boxes, and of course not all players want to go get shulker boxes. A simpler version and a simpler way to get that was through the bundle, an item that would take up 1 slot in your inventory, yet could have 64 items in it. I'm not just talking about a stack, I'm talking about that it could have this dirt, a couple torches, fireworks, and even golden carrots in it, and still only take up 1 spot. The bundle would have fixed this problem a whole lot. The problem is Mojang couldn't get it working on older mobile devices, which is why we've actually yet to see the bundle. If you remember, we had older snapshots that the bundle was available to be played with in, but Mojang has come out and said that older mobile devices can't handle the bundle right now, and that's why we have yet to get it. We have heard from several Mojang employees that they are looking at making an inventory rework, but there's a lot of problems that lie with this, and that's mostly with the idea that they're looking to change the base inventory, where you have 3 bars in your inventory, and then you have a hotbar, and then you have your armor and your offhand slot. People have talked about potentially just adding backpacks or expanding the inventory itself. Now, backpacks aren't a terrible idea, but Mojang has said that they will never add them, and expanding the inventory itself may not seem like a terrible idea in general, but overall with the community, it probably wouldn't go over well for the fact that nearly 15 years we've had this simple setup consisting of 36 slots. Another problem that sandboxes have is when they have a ton of blocks, the storage just becomes really big. Storages used to be rooms, and now they're entire buildings consisting of bulk storage. Once again, this isn't a bad thing necessarily, but it can lead to problems when you're making something bigger. For example, if you're making a mega build, you most likely have heard the term of a chest monster. You used to have too many blocks, you can't carry them all, and so they end up in a chest monster that for the most part, you might never move. Now, there is a very easy way to get around this. If you are building a mega project close to your main base, you can just make sure that your storage is basically centralized, and that's something that you can easily get to and out of fairly quickly. This would definitely help from avoiding things like having random chests around your world. In very short and basic terms, getting a complete overhaul to the inventory is something that's very unlikely. The basic inventory setup itself has just become way too iconic with the game, and changing it and expanding it into something bigger to completely offset the entire flow of the game currently. Although players may like having an extra 1 or 2 bars on top of the inventory, it would just outrage the general player base because it is a change, and it is something that would take a long time to get used to. The most simple and basic solution for this problem is of course the bundle. Another quick side note, as I'm looking at it, I have heard from several people that they don't like having shulker boxes because they hate having the same item in their inventory more than once, which is completely understandable, but personally, I like having all my items on me, so I will gladly stick with my shulker boxes. One final thing, and something that is slightly off topic I would like to talk about, is the crafting menu. Both Java and Bedrock share this feature of where there's a crafting book, and basically you have to scroll through here to craft anything, or you can use this right here. For Java players and PC Bedrock players, this is not a problem, but it does become a problem for console players. If you are a console player, you can find yourself scrolling through items for what feels like eternity, just trying to find one thing to craft. This isn't a massive thing, but it is an inconvenience for console-only players, especially when the fact that the old gen consoles had a menu that was specific to controllers, made it quick and easy for controller players basically to memorize and get all that stuff done without having to feel like they had to drag through a menu find everything, and took advantage of the format of controllers and basically just fit it perfectly. Although I do like Minecraft all being together for Bedrock, I still think that it should have those differences for PC and Xbox. Final conclusion, we had a solution to this, but we just can't have it because older mobile devices can't handle it. Which begs the question that is a topic for another day of should Mojang discontinue some of the older mobile devices? Please comment your thoughts below of either ways to fix the inventory or if you think it's just fine how it is.